Hi guys, today we're painting this watercolor scene. It's very simple and I know you can do it. So let's talk supplies. First of all, I have a number 8 round brush. I've got my watercolor paper, my water, my paints, and let's go ahead and dip into our blue in our palette. We're just gonna start scrubbing on the color just very loosely. I used a little bit of water, it's not a ton, and then we're gonna take some fresh water and we're going to take that color and just start diffusing it out. This makes a really pretty look. You can leave some spots that are white just for the clouds in the sky. You can even add in some darker blue if you want to, but I'm just scrubbing this color out just to give a really nice light effect on our sky and clouds here. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this darker blue. I had a gray blue on there and I thought, you know what, this might be nice just to mix some of those colors together. So we'll go ahead and just spread it out like that. And now I'm going to take some purple. We're going to do our little snowy scene. And so we can't do white. The paper is already white. We don't have white watercolor. But I like to take kind of a light purple color. We're going to outline just where the pencil sketch is at. Just creating this illusion of hills and bumps in the ground. So once you have that light purple color on, you can take a clean brush. Let's go ahead and just spread some of that purple. And you can also darken up the lines as well later. But you just want to create this illusion that there are shadows and there is light reflecting off the snow. There's shadows there where maybe there's plants that are there or just those hills. We want to give that idea that that's what's happening in our snowy ground here. So I'm just going to darken up a few of those lines. This is wet on wet technique. You have wet paint on your paper, the paper is wet, and you're adding wet paint over the top. So I kind of like that, a little bit more dark. And now we're going to go ahead and let it dry. Okay, so now we're back. And let's go ahead and make our green color. So this is a really bright green I've been using. I like to mix some brown in there to just darken it up, add some more green. And then we're gonna need to mix a lot of water in there as well to make it very spreadable. So I've got my dagger brush, I've got the pointed side down. Again, use a number 2 or number 1 round if you have that, just for those finer details. And we're just gonna make that trunk of our pine tree, can make them a little wobbly, a little wonky, and just start putting those lines back and forth because you're creating these lovely branches that have a lot of white space in between. And this is really up to you how you'd like to make this. Again, you could kind of flip up your branches a little bit so they're diagonal, pointed upwards, or you could have diagonal lines pointing downwards. You could do a combination of that as well, but I'm just going to make this one the biggest tree here, a little bit of a trunk at the bottom. And we're going to repeat this same pattern. I think I'll do a little bit of a shadow. I'll probably do some purple shadows, but let's just do green for now. Okay, so this is a shorter guy, and he's a little bit tucked behind that larger tree. Okay, now let's see, where should we go? Should I do behind? I think I'm just going to start with one right here. So adding in, you can do 4 or 5 trees. Afterwards, we might do some lighter hues of this color just to show that those trees are behind. The darker ones are going to appear to be more forward, and those lighter ones will look like they're more in the distance. So this is a really great practice. I know I have several videos that I've already done for you guys on pine trees. Kind of 'tis the season. We've done a lot of Christmas trees, done a lot of fir trees, and it's just kind of that time of year. And now that we're transitioning from Christmas, we can still do this type of watercolor painting, but now we're still including the snow, just not all the red and green and all the things. Okay, so this is a really great practice. We're gonna do 3 more, or ideas of 3, 4 more trees. Let's do 4. And these I'm making a little bit shorter, as you can see, a little bit lighter, so less pigment, a little bit more water. And in my imagination, these are a little bit farther away, maybe on a distant hill over the way, over yonder. So let's darken up these guys that are more in front. Now that they're dry, you can just darken up with more saturated paint. And like I said, that's going to bring those trees forward, more to the foreground. And look, I've got some gloppy paint, a lot right there. That's okay. You can take a clean, damp brush and just soak up some of that if it bothers you. With watercolor, the water and the color are sometimes just going to go wherever, and you just kind of go with it. So don't worry about it too much. So as you guys are painting or doing the same type of thing over and over, right now I'm going to darken up my snow by giving a little bit more purple color in there. Just remind yourself that this is supposed to be a practice that is fun. Let's do some shadows and a little bit more purple, I think, over here, instead of keeping them green. This is supposed to be fun and relaxing. This is a very loose style of landscape painting. It's quick, it's pretty easy, and I know that all of you can accomplish this. The idea is just to practice and have fun, and I will say this over and over again. You're always going to hear the same thing from me. Remind yourself, this is not a stressful situation. If it is, take a step away, step back and take a breather, go do something else and come back when you're feeling better about it. It should be a fun practice. Remember, it is practice. Every time you get better, every time. Your muscle memory improves, your brain calms down, and you can even find joy. Let's darken this up a lot. I really have a lot more saturated paint on this brush because I wanted that pop of color for those shadows. I'm really liking that. So that about wraps up our loose landscape. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video.